everybody, how you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Billikis. How you all doing? It's good to be back after a long time, but trust me, I'm back. So today's class will be on how to make a bustier with cups, popularly known as corset or bustier or cup bustier, however it's convenient for you to recognize it, but it is actually a bustier with cups or cup bustier. Then it's very close to a corset, because especially when you start inculcating the cinching techniques and all that, because a corset is an undergarment. But anyways, as long as it's convenient for you to call it a corset bustier with cups, cup bustier, you're good to go. Please, if today is your first time of checking out this channel, you're welcome. Please make sure you subscribe. You can check out my other channel, Billikis Signatures, for lovely DIYs here. So now back to work. By now, if you've been following this channel, you know how to draft your basic bodies with that. It could either be a short, a half scale or a full scale bodies. It depends on your preference and what you are working with. But even if it is a full scale, it is just the same thing, just that you extend it. I'll show you at the end of the video for a full scale. So now what do you do here? First, and the most important part is the front. All you have to do is to insert your on the bust measurement, which is easy, just from the nape of your neck to under your bra. That is where your bra wire is. Like for this person, it is 13 inches, so I just drew it out with a pencil. So the first thing we'll do now is to contour the under bust and also the over bust, which is very, very easy to do. There are two ways in which you could contour the under bust. It could either by measuring your under bust measurement or just doing it the way I do that. Yeah, because in most cases I don't really measure. All I do is to just take half an inch away from the dart that passes through that point. So, but if you are working with a busty person, a plus size person, so you just do half an inch at this point. So you do half an inch at this point, and then come down here and do like 0.75, which is 3/4 inch. That's for a plus size. But since she's just normal person, then I'm just going to do half. Can you see what I have? The next thing is to just connect it. Let me see that. Straight to the bust point line. Go to the other side too. Let me see what I have. So we have successfully tightened up that place. The next thing is to connect straight to the dart legs here. Let me see how easy that was. So we are done with that part. So the next thing now we are going to do is this. Before we contour this upper part, let us just draw out the cup, because your corset or your bustier cup is just like a bra. So all you have to do is to determine the neck line. So from your neck region here, just measure whatever you want the depth to be. So for me, between 6 to 7 is okay. So for medium-sized person, 6 is just fine. But for a plus size, you could do up to 7. Especially when you're having illusion, you could go down to like 9. Anyhow you want it, because for a corset or bustier top with cups, it is advisable to show some skin. You could now use applique to cover it up and all that, but it depends on your preference. So at that point now, I will come in by half an inch. Half an inch. Then take it down to the under bust, although we don't really need it to that point, but just as a guideline. Let me see. So the next thing for us now is to connect the cup. You can use either of these cup, anyone that is convenient. It does the same work. You see, just blend it up to somewhere around here, and then you can just check out. You can use like 1 1/4 here as a guideline if you want that. but with your curve, even if you make use of this, it will still give you the same thing. Very well. So that's what I have. You can see that curve part is formed. So coming to this other side now, all you have to do is very simple to make it easier for you. So let's say this is, you just measure over your bust this way. Remember, your brow wire will be somewhere here in the middle, and then wherever your bust is going to contain here, so just measure from that part here. Because if you measure something like this that is not up to this part, you might have your boobs coming out. But because we want the cup to contain of all your boobs, especially people that are busted, this is very essential. Just measure whatever you have, and then you use that measurement too. So in most cases, it's always between half an inch to 3 inches, 3/4 inch away from the side. So just measure that. So whatever you have, you measure for yours. So can you see how beautiful the cup is formed? So the next thing is like that. Let us just quickly contour the upper part. So all we have to do is this. For instance, if you want your bustier to have a yoke, it is just advisable you do a whole of this that. That's why you hear like 100% tightening, 150% tightening, 200% tightening. So that's what they mean by that. It's just to contour this upper part to have it fitted and not gaping. So here in this case, let's say we want to have a yoke. Without a yoke, I do like 150. That's 1.5 of the exact that I have here. So now I'll just measure whatever I have here. So that's like almost 2 1/4. Now 100% just means times 2 of what I have here, a whole of the same width I have here. So that is just it. There's nothing, no big deal in that. So since I have like 2 1/4 here, I'm just going to double it. How do I do that? I'm just going to spread some here and here. So since I have 2 1/4, so I could just do like 3/4 here. So 3/4 is here. So what will be left? Let me just get 3/4 here. You want a total of 2 1/4. Can you see these 2 points? Then I'm just going to connect to the bust point, or the bust level. Oh, maybe I should use my pencil so that it won't confuse you. Because this contouring is only for the lower part, but for the yoke, we are still going to maintain this very one. So that's why I'm trying to use another marker. So wow, we have times 2 of that, which is now 100%. So having done that now, the next thing is for us to now curve the upper part. For a guideline, you can just use the same measurement you have from your bust level or bust point to your under bust. Like for her, it is 3 1/2. So you could do something lower than that or even more than that, but not more than like 1/4 or 1/2 inch more than whatever you have for your bust radius. So now for a guy as a guideline, let us just say 3 1/2. So somewhere here. So to just make it easier, I'm now going to close it up. So can you see? It is now the expanded one that I'm closing up now. Okay, good. So I feel it will be easier now. Okay, good. And you can now place it up and now decide how low. So like when you are drafting, you should be using your pencil, but I'm using my pen. So looking at it, if you feel this is too high for that, you could just come down by 1/2 inch. It depends on your preference. So it depends on however you like it. So we are blending it in to these middle parts. So however you just want it. Good. So this area, you just curve it however you want it. So you could make something like this too, just however you want it. Let me see. So this is more lower and beautiful. This was the 3.5 inch I did for the bust radius, and this is like 1 inch downward, which is still okay. So I think I would prefer this lower one, which is the pin. Beautiful. So looking at it now, you can see that the contouring is on the expanded dart, not this initial one. So looking at it, it is formed perfectly. So you can maintain to have your cup this way, just these two, or you can decide to have any design you want. That totally depends on your preference. So let us just do that. So in that case, you could just have maybe 1 inch or 1.5, depending on your preference. So let's say this is 1.5. So you come to this part, you could do like 1.25. So can you see, in most cases, I like it to pass through the bust level, that is the bust point. Can you see that? And then you can curve it out. But it depends on your preference. There's no perfect or standard way to do that. Let me use another marker for that. So I guess looking at this, you see how easy and simple this is just is. So can you see that? So this is not there. So let me just erase this so it doesn't confuse you. Pen to clean that off. Remember, as when you are drafting, you need to use your pencil, because I want you to see everything I'm doing. That is why I'm using my marker. So having done that, you can see how beautiful that looks, and I'm sure you would have seen that this is very, very easy to make. So another thing I'll just do is this to make it easier. Let me just close this and use tracing wheel so that when I'm cutting out my yoke, guideline. Good. So having done that, now we are ready to go. So for this, for the yoke now, this is what I will have. So I'm just going to cut it off. So the next thing we are now going to do now is to determine the neckline, or better still, we can just finish with the back. So for the back now, in most cases, what I just like to do is from the arm side depth or armhole, I just like to go down 1 to 1.25, but there's no standard to that. The neckline totally depends on you. So let me just make 1 inch. So it depends on your preference, or 1.5 or 1.25. I just like to, you know, show off some skin. So now, this is it. Connect to this point. Then another thing is this: if you're having it to be strapless, it is advisable you just come down like 1/4 inch away or 1/2 inch away from the armhole region. But if you are having a yoke, you could just, you know, blend it into the armhole. Can you see what I did there? That is it. So in that case, if it's going to have a yoke, I'm also taking this up there. So first, the straighter part should be here. So this is what I have. So can you see how easy that is? So another thing you could just do is this. For the tightening at the back, you could just use either 1/4 inch or just 1 bar on your measuring tape and then blend it in. Can you see that? So that is it on how to make that. So the next thing now is the neckline for your yoke. because if it's having a yoke, this is the yoke here, this is also the yoke. So for that, all you have to do is to determine. For instance, I could just come down by, let's say 1.5. It just depends on your preference. Sorry, I'm used to pencil. So I did 1.5 here, and for the neck width, 1 inch, it has to be the same with the back, not that. So we have dropped the neckline. Also the back, the most important one is the side, the neck width here, it has to match with the front. So this is what I have. So also for the depth, for the yoke, it depends on your preference. You could just take it down straight to this point or have any design. So let's just say 1 inch or 3/4. So I haven't dropped the neckline. Another thing you could have something like a curve, like on the full scale I'm going to show you. So let's just do 1.5 here. And then you could just have something like this. So let it just go into the dark leg. Good. So something like this is fine too. So this will be the yoke. This will be open back. So having done that now, the next thing is to determine where you want your loop to be. If you want a zipper, fine, but if you want a loop, that's so easy, which will be here. You could, how wide you want it to be totally depends on your preference. Especially if you have a modesty panel, you could do up to 2.5, you could do up to 3, depending on your preference. So for me, I'm just going to do like 1.5 to 1 3/4. So you could just do it straight down, having the same thing, or you could reduce it. So it depends on your preference. It depends. So that is it. So that's where your loop is going to be. Either a loop or eyelet or grommet, any one at all. So can you see that? So it is ready. So in our next class, I'm going to be teaching you the waist cinching technique. So trust me, it is the same thing. It is just the same thing we have done. All we have to do is to snatch it up. So I'm going to do that in our next class. So let me quickly cut this out. So let me start from here. So now the cups is actually from here now, but the yoke will be from here. So watch me cut the cup now. You see that? So I'm really taking my time just for you to see each step I'm making. Can you see where I cut out the cuff? Can you see that? This part too. Good. So the yoke now is this very one and not this. This is just to contour this upper part. So now watch me. Can you see? It's pretty easy. Good. So this part will be like this. Now, you just use your paper tape to stick it down. And you see what I have? So the yoke is ready. What the back looks like. Can you see that? So easy. And then the front, this is also what it looks like. So if you just want this type of cup, just this 1, 2, you can decide to just cut it that way. can you see? So this will just be the side. S, how is S written? So this will just be the side. That's if you just want this type of cup. But in case you want these separate ones, all you have to do now is to separate it. Then for our physical classes here in Lagos, it starts on the 9th of January. In case you are interested, you can join us. So can you see we have 4 pieces? So what I will do now is to join this together. If this tutorial has been helpful, please give me a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. Also for our pattern drafting tools, we have them available. You can use the contact number on the screen or in the description box to get to us. And for our physical classes in Lagos, use the contact number also to get in touch with us. It starts on the 9th of January. Beginners, intermediate, and advanced. Yeah.